Well, hello, good people. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. It's actually about 11:30 right now, and I'm up a little later than usual, but I've been working in my workshop here. In my studio, which I guess you could say is my workshop too. We're less than 3 weeks away from the draft. In fact, 3 weeks from now, we'll be done. We'll have the last day of the draft. We'll have all of the shiny new pieces and all the new hopes and dreams for our team in 3 weeks. And in fact, in less than 2 weeks, the team starts doing some of their OTA work. And the team that we have will be the team that we have. And it doesn't matter how much we whine, moan, and cry about Stephen Jones, the penny pitcher, the cat boy. There's nothing we can do about that. But you know what? I realized a couple of things over the course of the last couple of days. Or not really realized, remembered. You know, when you get to be my age, you forget a lot of things. In life, it's easy to get complacent. It's easy when you start doing well to forget the things that you did that got you going in the right direction. I am going to have, looks like my neighbor's having a party. Yeah, neighbor's having a little party over there. It's easy to forget the things that you did that got you going in the right direction. But by no means have I made it in anything. I got a long ways to go. And the thing is in life, there's always going to be adversity and challenges. And right now, in YouTube, you're looking at challenges. You're looking at, I'm going to say that YouTube is turning into the wild, wild west. It's the new frontier. In the same way as when I was a kid, George Michael's Sports Machine. If you grew up in the Washington, D.C. area, you know what I'm talking about, George Michael's Sports Machine. Before there was ESPN, you could almost say ESPN stole from George Michael's Sports Machine. Because before that time, you had your 11 o'clock news, and at about 11:20, for 5 minutes, you would get your sports highlights. Other than that, you'd have to read the newspaper, right? Read the newspaper, or wait for Sports Illustrated to come out on Friday. Or you did have the NFL Today that was on at 12:30 before the 1 o'clock games. And that was it. Until George Michaels was the innovator who started after the 11 o'clock news at 11:30 to 12 o'clock. 30 minutes. It was just a highlight show. The very first one. He was the pioneer that started and launched ESPN. ESPN, when they came out with cable TV. ESPN, I remember they were talking about a 24-hour sports network. And I remember saying, there's not that many sports to cover. In the same way that the U.S. patent guy in 1898 said, we can close the patent office because there's nothing else to invent. That was being short-sighted. And from there, ESPN came through. Cable television. And they were the leader, the innovator. But, of course, what always happens is when you get to the top, you forgot what got you there. You relax. And then others imitate you. CBS Sports, FS1, NFL Network, all of them coming and biting and taking a piece of what you're doing. And then you try and change, and not everything you do always works. Understand that you're probably going to strike out with 9 ideas, but hopefully the 10th one is the winner. And so ESPN, after the big shootout with Fox and CBS and NFL Network, and then the baseball having their networks and basketball networks and everything else, after now that has kind of waned because people are into streaming, now they're looking and saying, YouTube. Let's get that younger audience. Let's get that younger demographic. Let's get the streaming. After they laughed at us for years. They treated us like the redheaded stepchild. We're not media. YouTube. What the? Seriously? That's what they used to. They joked about us. Now, those mother humpers are coming running. Of course. They've got this whole thing. We're ESPN. We're Fox Sports 1. That's just YouTube. They're little fleas. We can take that over. That's easy. And in the same way, Putin just thought that he would just go right on through with them. He found out. The fight's a lot bigger than you think. And it's not as easy as you think to do this. So this is all the thoughts of this over the last couple of months since the NFL season ended, because YouTube has been flooded since the NFL season ended. It's been literally flooded with, all of these different channels and professional outfits and things that have now come and descended like cockroaches into the YouTube world. And literally it's just like the stuff that it used to do doesn't seem to do it like it used to. There's the shiny new toys and the new bells and whistles that are out there. The celebrities, the big names. And then there's just the little guys like us. Little old nobodies broadcasting from their mama's basement. Well, guess what? You guys, you want to fight? You want to try and take what we have? Tell you what, that has gotten me with a new focus, a new drive. Because I will not disappear from the face of YouTube. I will not give in. I will not let them run me over. And I am going to double my efforts, and I'm going to work even harder to put them to shame. They got millions. They got big staffs. They got all kinds of equipment. But you know what they don't have? They don't have that heart, that passion, and that connection with you guys. So yeah, bring it on, guys. Bring it on. I'm ready for the fight. And when the dust clears, we'll see who's still standing. I tell you, I realized tonight originally why I started doing social media. I remember exactly now why I really started saying, somebody's got to be the voice of reason. And it was Dez Bryant. Dez Bryant and what was being said between Dez Bryant and Tony Romo. I kept saying the things that I hear, because ESPN used to be the standard bearer. It used to be you would get seen the highlights and everything else, and you could make your own decision on what was going on. But now you're told what to believe and how it is. Everything is a freaking reality show and an opinion. But I remember how it was always, Tony Romo's a choker. He can't win in December. But I would sit there and I was saying, have you looked at the Cowboys defense? Because the Cowboys defense in December was always going downhill. And then I was like, Tony Romo had more comeback victories than any other quarterback. And I'm like, how is he a choker if he's had more comeback victories? And then it came Dez Bryant. When Dez Bryant was coming up for his contract, and this is where you realize, by knowing your history, that things don't change. Because they trashed Dez Bryant when it was time for him to get a contract. They talked about, there was 6 times that the police came to Dez Bryant's house, even though one time it wasn't Dez Bryant's house and they had the wrong address. They weren't even looking for Dez Bryant. Another time there was a child who was accidentally locked in the car and they were looking for police to help to get into the car and stuff. But they made it sound like Dez Bryant was public enemy number 1. That, here it is, Miami Vice is coming in there with, M16s and SWAT team and everything else to get Dez Bryant. The police were called to his house. You know what? I bet you most of the people right there that they're watching right now, you didn't have the police come knock on your door before. I know I have. Hell, shit. But the one that really killed me, and it brought everything back full circle today, was when Mike Furio, who is always coming up with bullshit against the Cowboys. Okay, let's be clear here. They do. But came up with this whole thing that there might be a tape of Dez Bryant that's 10 times worse than Ray Rice. And I played earlier in another clip where Adam Schefter was talking about, we've been working on this for months. We'll be coming out with the story on. He didn't have shit on there. There was no tape. And at least I can say with Gil Brandt that he at least did an apology on Twitter. It should have been, he should have carried his ass in front of a microphone so you could see what was really in his heart as opposed to a tweet of an apology. But I guarantee you that slimy ass Adam Schefter, who comes up with more bullshit. I didn't say F, Dad. I didn't say F. But comes up with more bullshit. You will not hear an apology because we had everybody and their sister talking about this tape that did not exist. And to this day, those lying jackasses, and my dad does say jackass, so that's okay. So I've been called a jackass by my dad. So Dad, I know that was okay. But those lying jackasses, they never said they're sorry to Dez Bryant. And I understand exactly how Dez Bryant felt today because he's probably carried that all along because they have literally trashed Dez Bryant over the years, over and over and over again. And that was the reason why I started doing YouTube and being here because, and people are always saying, oh, you're just a Dak Prescott, you're just a Romo defender. No, I'm actually putting out the truth because you get so much bullshit out there from those talking heads. Those guys. Y'all believe them because they're on television. You believe them because they're wearing a nice suit. Of course, why would you listen to a guy who's here broadcasting from his basement? Why would you listen to a guy whose usually hair is not done perfect? Why would you listen to a guy whose clothes aren't a 3-piece suit? And you know why you should listen to me? Because you got the real me. I got no agenda. I got no bullshit. I'm not trying to hide something. I don't have speech writers that are writing the day's agenda. Trash the Cowboys, trash the Cowboys, trash the Cowboys, trash the Cowboys. And you follow it from show after show after show. If you watched one, you're going to get the same story on each and every one of them. Why? Because it's bullshit that they're feeding. And that's why I'm here. And that's why I'm not going nowhere. And if I go out, I'm going to go out swinging. So, we here, and we looking out for you. And with that being said, God willing, I'll wake up tomorrow to continue this fight. Make sure you tell somebody you love that you love them tonight. Because you might not get the chance tomorrow. Because nobody knows what the next 5 minutes, the next hour, the next day or week holds for us. And you better make sure you enjoy each and every minute of it. Appreciate y'all.